Hey everyone, this is Frank Gonzalez. This is the Gunsallus Standard, and today my guest is Carol van Erven, and she is a candidate, one of the candidates for Orphans Court for Talbot County. And so I'm very excited at the opportunity to speak with you and to learn about your campaign and also about the position that you are hoping or aspiring rather to obtain. So with that, Carol, most people hear the name Orphans Court and think of something from a history book. In your own words, what does this court actually do for families here in Talbot County?
Well, let me start by saying that it is from a history book. It came here in 1776, brought by Lord Baltimore. And Maryland has continued that tradition all of these years, not changing anything about Orphans Court. And Orphans Court has the sound of taking care of orphans, but it's really not. It's about ensuring that the will is followed, protecting the assets of heirs, safeguarding the assets and the well-being of children and elderly, and administrating an estate.
Cool.
That's basically what Orphans Court does in Maryland.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to admit myself, I thought it originally years ago had something to do with orphans, just as you explained. So this is your first time stepping into public life in the political arena. What was the spark or the moment that made you decide that you wanted to take the leap of faith and make a run for it?
Well, I am retired. I moved here from Connecticut with my husband 6 years ago. 2 years we were confined by COVID. And I have a life of service as an administrator of a K-8 school, in addition to earning my doctorate in supervision and administration and a master's in finance. And someone came and asked me, would you consider running for an Orphans Court? I think you would be good for this position. And I was delighted. And hopefully I'll be able to serve the people of Talbot County as judge of Orphans Court.
Wonderful. Well, that's great that someone saw the potential in you to do this based on your credentials. So that's wonderful.
Thank you.
So the Orphan Court often deals with people during some of the most stressful times of their lives, losing a loved one or dealing with a complex estate. How do you plan to bring a sense of calm and fairness to that process?
Well, I think that my educational training and also my line of work prepare me for this type of work. This is what I've done my whole life, is help people navigate through difficult situations. And facing a death is a very difficult situation. And questions come up that have to be answered through the legal system. So by listening to everyone and treating them fairly with dignity and respect is the qualities that I can bring to Orphans Court.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's just, I can't even imagine how hard it must be to be dealing with something like that and then have to get into the minutia of details of wills and other legal documents and trying to sort through all that. I mean, it just seems like it could be so overwhelming.
It's painful. It is overwhelming, but it's also very painful, especially when you lose your mother or your father and they've been through cancer. Then they're on fentanyl and they make decisions because they're fearful, because they know they're dying, and then things don't go well. And it's really important to have a will and to be prepared for these situations.
Yeah. Wow. That's yeah. And so, I mean, it also is really important to, have the appropriate people in place to help families and in that situation through that process to be able to feel like they have some kind of solace to be able to manage that.
I think you have to be a good listener for one, and you have to have compassion for two. And those are innate qualities that you have to have. You can't learn those in a book.
Right. Well, that's exactly right. listening is one of the most important things that you can do, especially in an elected office. And so, as someone coming in with a fresh perspective, what is the standard you want to set for how people are treated when they walk into your courtroom?
Well, I would be looking for openness and transparency from everyone, and I would want to treat everyone with fairness and care, because this is a sensitive issue for everyone involved in these kind of matters, and it takes a amount of good listening and understanding and care and compassion, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wow. Well, so if a neighbor came up to you at the grocery store and asking up how they can make things easier for their family later on, what's the one thing you tell them about the importance of being prepared?
The one thing that I would tell them is to be transparent and to let people know what your wishes are before you die. Because after you're gone, it's up for interpretation sometimes. I know of two sisters who got into it over the Avon vase that their mother loved, and each one of them claimed it. They went to court over the Avon vase, so it's very important to have transparency. That's what I tell them, to have the will and to let their wishes be known before you're in that situation.
Right. So, and not just the will, but the communication in advance. Obviously, there's times when that just may be an uncomfortable conversation for people to convey to their family about who's going to get what and how that may be distributed. And so it's just a very interesting dynamic when you think about it, to be not just preemptive but also detailed, very detailed. So
you may have a favorite ring even that you want one child to have and the other child wants it. You have to let them know who gets what in advance. It would save so much heartache for families.
Right. Okay. Well, when voters see your name on the ballot, what is the one thing you want them to know about the kind of judge Carol van Erven would be?
Well, I will make sure that the interest of the heirs are protected, that the will is carried out, and that each person that comes into the courtroom is treated with respect and dignity.
Well, that sounds wonderful. So what does the Gunsallus Standard of common sense justice look like to you in the Orphans Court?
It looks to me like what you try to do on this podcast: present all of the evidence so voters can make an educated choice. And in court, all the evidence should be presented so we can make a common sense decision. That's pretty much what it would look like. Just basically what you do, getting things out open and transparent and having a good conversation about the clarity of the issues.
Right. And it all comes down to communication.
Back to communication, right.
Okay. Well, so I really appreciate your time and interest in running for office and the dedication that you're already displaying in your efforts to get the word out about your campaign and to educate people on the importance of what exactly is going on or what does occur in those positions. So I commend you very much on that, because public life public office is something many people tend to shy away from for many obvious reasons. And so for anyone who's even willing to stick their neck out and just give it a go and see if they can make it happen, nothing but respect and admiration, because it's a beast, complete challenge. you got to think on your feet and always be anticipating things and trying to prepare. And it's always something to do. So
and I want to say back to you, thank you for having me, and thank you for taking the time for this interview. I appreciate it. It's my honor to run for this office, and it would be my honor to serve as an Orphans Court judge for Talbot County.
Okay. As I'm just happy to be able to converse with you. How can people find you? Social media or website, or what's the best way for people to communicate with you?
Thanks for asking. You can follow me on Facebook at Friends of Carol van Erven, or you can text me at 860-917-8586.
Wonderful. Well, there you have it, and that's another episode in the books. And so
remember, vote Carol van Erven.
That's right.